let's talk about Mr. Kyle Shanahan for a minute. But before we do, let me ask everybody this question. Could the Kyle Shanahan 49ers be the next version of the Jim Kelly Buffalo Bills? Think about it. Because we're seeing the same kind of tendencies. I mean, they'll get you to the they'll get you to the game. They'll get you to the big game. But then something always goes awry. And it's usually not one decision or one play. It seems like it snowballs with this team. And here you have Kyle Shanahan saying he doesn't regret his decision in overtime choosing to receive the ball. Now, you could take it in a multitude of ways. Me personally, I would have took the ball too, and then tried to, after we scored a touchdown, the 2-point conversion, because that would end the game right there, the 2-point conversion. But he was thinking in terms of, well, if we do it this way, then we'll have a chance at more possessions against Patrick Mahomes. See, right then and there, Patrick Mahomes was in his head. And if an opposing player is in the head of the head coach, that's going to seep down to the players. And you hear all these stories coming out saying that they wasn't 100%, players coming out saying they wasn't 100% sure of the overtime rules, and they didn't know what was going on. In the last play, they seemed kind of, the last touchdown pass that Patrick Mahomes threw, the defense looked kind of discombobulated, like they didn't know who they were supposed to be covered, what portion of the field they're supposed to be covering. Are we going to zone, man? What we going to do? It just seems like Mahomes snapped the ball real quick, and everybody was just, what do we do? What do we do? And before you knew it, the game was over. And it sounded like, from what the players were saying, they thought they would have another chance. So let's read some of this from Mr. Kyle Shanahan. I would have made the same call again. Man, no, you wouldn't, man. Stop. That's cap. 2 days after the 49ers' 25-22 loss in Super Bowl 58, head coach Kyle Shanahan is still facing questions on his decision to receive the ball first in overtime, given the new postseason rules. He's still resolute in his belief he made the right call against the Chiefs. See, that's just stubbornness. And this is why. Now, I'm not saying that, like the old school Buffalo Bills with Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, and them boys. Now, I'm not saying that they was stubborn and that's why they kept getting to the Super Bowl and losing. I'm speaking in terms of the 49ers as a whole, from Kyle Shanahan down. The mentality is, especially when they see Patrick Mahomes across that line of scrimmage, it's starting to seem like it's mentally destroying them before they even take a snap. Now, I would have thought they would have recovered because they only beat them. They beat them once before in the Super Bowl. Now, you would think, okay, we're going to get revenge next time we see that dude. We're going to beat that dude. And for a minute, they looked like they was going to win that game. They was punch, counter punch the whole game long. And then all of a sudden, it just seems like the Chiefs kicked that field goal, tied the game up. Now it's time to go into overtime. And it just seems like the whole overtime, the 49ers was just like nervous. I mean, if they'd have kept running the ball, I think they win this game. I think they win that game if they just keep running the ball. But it just seemed like they just got tight at the worst possible time. You are on stage in front of the whole world, multiple countries is watching this game. And everybody's seen y'all choke pretty much. Because y'all want to get out of y'all character. Y'all want to do other stuff. Y'all want to prove that y'all can be something that you're not. You didn't get there being something that you're not. So why all of a sudden you want to put a mask on and play dress up? And I'm talking about the 49ers as a whole, from the players to the coach. And they taking on the characteristics of the head coach. And if the coach seems unsure and tight, that's going to trickle down to the players. And that's what it looked like to me, would say y'all. We told everyone as they were waiting for the coin toss, we asked the position coaches to do that. But I didn't cover it during the meeting Super Bowl week, Shanahan said during his end of year news conference on Thursday. I don't think that changes anything. We did it with our analytics department. We decided that going into the playoffs, I think you guys know how I've explained how to make decisions with that stuff in the past. I take all the information I can get, especially ones I haven't been in. Our analytics felt that was the best way to go. But as you guys know, I don't always just go with that. I take into account that they say what they think is right, and then I go off my gut in the heat of the battle. If your gut is in a crisis situation, like, you're coaching in a Super Bowl, the stakes is high, everybody's watching. Human nature, you're going to be a little nervous and apprehensive. That's normal. But if that nervousness is in your gut and you're making decisions based off that nervousness and being uneasy and just feeling like, I feel like if you're feeling scared, then your gut is going to give you a scared conclusion and a scared decision is going to be made. And that's what it seems like it was. It seems like, he was depending on, okay, we want to make sure we had the ball more times than Patrick Mahomes. That thought process just says you're so afraid of Patrick Mahomes. You're definitely afraid of that man. He's already living rent-free in your brain. That space in between your ears, Patrick Mahomes is sitting down with his feet kicked up. He got the remote control. He probably got the black box, getting cable for free. He probably tapped into all your mental faculties. He know what you're going to do before you even do it. He knows what kind of defense you're going to call before you even call it. And it seems like he was in the head of the whole team the whole game. Because after the first half, 49ers was feeling themselves. And the first half was boring as shit. I ain't even going front. That first half was trash. It reminded me of the first preseason game. Penalties galore, flags all over the field, slow moving, just the grind and just mistakes after mistakes. And for the Chiefs to only score 3 points, it was like, 49ers in position to roll these dudes up. And then the second half came. And I can't help but revert back to when Kyle Shanahan was coaching the Atlanta Falcons. He was kicking Tom Brady's ass. What is it, like 28-3, something like that? And then the same thing. This is what I'm saying. That mentality, that old school Buffalo Bill. I hate depending on Buffalo, but we saw y'all go to 4 Super Bowls and lose. And this is what it's reminding me of with Kyle Shanahan's 49ers. It's like, it don't matter if they dominate the NFC or not. They could storm through the NFC and storm into the Super Bowl only to get tight and lose. Now, it might be the Patrick Mahomes effect. It might be that. Maybe when they look over to the other sideline and see Patrick Mahomes, they just, Kyle Shanahan just freezes up. Like, and now your players is freezing up. That's a bad thing. It's a bad feeling, especially the Super Bowl. It's just, you can't win like that. You can't even function like that. When you thinking like that and you calling game plans like that, you should be thankful you didn't get blown out. Like blown to smithereens. And part of that, my personal opinion is, I think the Chiefs came into that game a little too full of themselves, a little too comfortable, a little too cocky. That's why they only put up 3 points in the first half. But whatever was said in that locker room and whoever said it definitely touched the nerve in the whole team, because they came out in the second half and they was ready. They was like, all right, we're going to do what we do. What got us here, what got us in this position this season, we going to go back to doing that. And then Kyle Shanahan did the opposite. He was like, you know what? We going to be like the Jim Kelly Buffalo Bills. We going to be like the Atlanta Falcons, in the second half. When I was playing against the Patriots, when I was coaching against the Patriots, I'm going to coach like that. I'm going to coach tight and hope for the best. We're winning. Maybe we can just play good defense and hold on. We don't have to score anymore. Hell, we don't even have to run the ball anymore. Let's just play good defense. That's that scared coaching shit. I can't stand that shit. The scared, let's hold on to the lead. Like, oh my goodness. We gotta find a way to prevent it from happening. Just, you can't win shit like that. I'm gonna leave this link in the description box down below. You guys can read it for yourself. Cause, man, I ain't the only one thinking this. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one thinking this. With that video. But anyway, I just want to get on here for a minute and talk about Kyle Shanahan resurrecting the Buffalo Bills, the Jim Kelly version of the Buffalo Bills, because that's exactly what he's coaching like. And with that being said, this is Uncut Sports, no feelings. Leave your feelings at the door when we start talking our shit up in here. I'm out.